we got Erika, Professor Erika, and her dad, her amazing dad that she always talks about and so proud to talk about. Eric, thank you guys for making it out.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check out your school later on today.
Yes.
Legacy West Valley in Northridge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Opening up really soon. Actually, Saturday is our soft opening.
Uh-huh.
Classes start on Monday. It's been a big journey getting it all ready in the last month and a half.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Very good stuff. Very proud.
Yeah. I mean, there's some times that you came out here, and I'm not sure if I ever told you, but just how hard I feel like it is. I'm not a woman. I can't speak for like a woman, but just to do this kind of thing as a woman and to be successful at it.
Yep. I think it's a very big deal.
Yeah.
And she's kind of a front runner, it seems like.
For sure.
This whole thing, having her own school. So she makes her daddy pretty proud.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, she always talks about you.
Yeah.
And all the life lessons, and she's always, my dad says this, my dad says that, one of my favorite quotes that we had on the other
I think
podcast.
both of the podcasts you and I have done, we've talked about it. Never pursue money, pursue excellence, and money will pursue you. And that's came from him, and that's been my steadfast focus for
You stayed
for
very
forever.
focused on that one.
Yeah.
She's done good. She loves my one-liners. I don't know. They just pop into your head, and you use them when opportunity arises. So.
Well, she lives her life, I think, that way.
Yeah.
Not focusing on like the money, but just doing doing your best, doing a good job, right?
Absolutely.
And then the money comes.
The money comes later. So yeah, that's good stuff. Very good stuff. So.
Are you nervous?
Oh no, I ain't afraid to lose. You know that.
Lying. Well, I'm. This means a lot to me because you and I have talked about him on a handful of podcasts, and when we signed our lease for Legacy West Valley, I remember calling my dad and being like, "We did it. Like I'm getting my keys like today." And he said, "Congratulations, you just retired from your 9 to 5 and you signed up for a 247." And
that's well said, right? Well said. That's another one liner that you're not gonna forget.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, you're right. And he's really guiding me through the process of entrepreneurship and business because I got to see him and my mom do it. And one day we just got to talking about his journey and everything that he's gone through his childhood and getting his business, and the story. And as I was a lot younger, and so I didn't really understand, and my parents did an amazing job at always being there for my sister and I, even though they were going through a storm trying to get his business. And so this day I just sat in my car and we talked. Do you remember that? We just talked for like an hour about how it all came to be for you. And I was just like, oh man, your story needs to be, it needs to be shared. It's just too good to not. So
yeah, she's always talked about that. And, you gotta tell people. My oldest nephew said, "You can write a book, Uncle Eric." I'm like, nobody wants to hear this nonsense, but that's kind of cool. So I really apprecited being invited on here today.
Yeah. So tell us about the journey. It's part of the journey.
Man, where do I start? So I'll start.
Are you from Colorado Springs area?
No, San Diego.
San Diego.
So
there we go. Back to Cali, huh?
Yeah. So I was born in San Diego, and then my folks split up when I was 7.
Okay.
And they went their separate ways, and I stayed with my mom in San Diego for a couple of years. Well, then a big part of my story, I feel like, is growing up on a farm. That's kind of, I'll run through that. I mean, I think it's just as important as
the lessons, right? You learn on the farm.
Yeah, the farm's an amazing place to grow up. But I started going and spending the summers with my dad. And then one particular year is what I was planning on sharing with you. It was a big deal. I was 11 years old. And the school we went to in San Diego, they allowed me this one year to do all my schoolwork ahead of time. And then so I got to leave, I think it's probably spring break, sometime in April. And I got to leave for the summer and go to my dad. So it was a big motivator because I loved going to the farm. And this particular farm was in the San Luis Valley in Colorado. And I was just.
Where's that near? What?
So it's near Alamosa.
Alamosa,
Not
okay,
far from Alamosa, 50 miles.
What's the university there? Adams State?
Yep, Adams State is
yeah.
in Alamosa. So not far from there, about 50 miles, probably. And so anyhow, this one year I think is when, we all have our defining moments.
Mm-hmm.
And it was definitely one of my defining moments because at age 11, I had so much responsibility and you had so many people counting on you. So I joke about this. I say, man, when Erika was 11, I couldn't even get her to take out the trash after dark, So the things I did was crazy, but I would start my day and I would be driving a tractor all day. And multiple things. There was so much tractor work on this farm. And in the San Luis Valley, they flood irrigate. They don't use the big sprinklers. So all over this valley is concrete canals, and that's how they flow the water and direct it where it goes, whose fields, all that kind of stuff. And then we had to make our own head ditches. And the head ditch is the part that we would build so that we could water the fields. And this farm, my dad called it Funky Farms.
Funky Farms.
Funky Farms, because, man, the equipment was so outdated. It was crazy. But we started in the spring. We would pull all these head ditches because we had to build our own water control. And they were probably, 4 feet wide, probably 3 feet deep. These
ditches?
Head ditches.
Ditches, uh-huh.
Well, they didn't have any really good equipment. So we had to go out. We had an LA case tractor and a Farmall tractor, and we had to hook them. We had to chain them together to have enough power to pull this big. It was like a big V blade that would cut these head ditches. So and I was on the front tractor. My dad was on the back tractor with the blade. And here we go. We pull these ditches all over this farm. It was a pretty good sized farm. It was probably 6 sections and scattered around a bit. It covered, 6-8 miles. But anyways, we'd go around and do these head ditches so that we could control our water that was delivered to us. And then, so that started the tractor driving. The next thing was you would create, they were called dikes. And they're like a berm that you cut down the field, and they were every so many feet, and it went the whole length of the field, and that's how you controlled the water. And I'm saying a lot of
it's
farm
good.
stuff,
It's good. Yeah,
it's
it
really,
connects, right?
It does. It connects. It's amazing.
And you see how much work
and
how big, right?
At 11 years old, driving your own truck, driving your own tractors.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was. And so anyways, that's how we started our summer, was building all these ditches. And then we'd build all the lands. And then they would open up the water, and we had these canvas dams that were rolled up on a long pole, probably a 12 or 14-foot pole. And that was your dam. That's how you controlled your water when it was let into your head ditch. And so those had to be moved, periodically. And there's usually 2 at every field. You'd have one that was always set, holding water, and then you'd set the next one, and on and on. So anyways, I said all that to say there was so much work that we had to do just to prepare for water. And so then once the water is
moving in the
now it has to be controlled 24 hours a day. And so my job was to take care of these heads of water. And there was anywhere from 3 to 6 at any given time on the entire farm. So I'm 11 years old, got my own pickup, and I'm driving around.
Nice, huh?
So, it was great, man. We're all smoking cigarettes and driving cars. And we thought we were pretty cool, But anyway, I would start my day driving a tractor, and then I drive a tractor all day, and then I would go to there was a guy that controlled all the water during the day. And I would go meet up with him and find out, okay, where's number 1, where's number 4,
How much water? How much water is coming in?
Because you had to change them when it gets to the end of the field. Otherwise, the water's wasted. It just goes. So I would meet up with him and get an idea of where I needed to go first. Then I would go home, and I would eat dinner. Then I'd jump in my pickup. 11 years old. Drive all over that farm, and then check. Okay, number one, it's gonna be ready to change in a couple hours. Number 3, I'm gonna have to check it in 4 hours. You know, number 6, on down the line, however many heads of water I had. So then I would go home and set my alarm clock for the first round that I had to be up to check things. And I'd sleep for a couple hours, set an alarm, and then get up, hop in my pickup, drive around the whole farm. Sometimes the water, you know, like we had one that needed to be changed. That was it seems simple now to me, but when I was that big, I had to straddle those head ditches, set the dams and everything. And so I would do that throughout the night. So then I'd get done, and let's say I had four heads of water. I'd change 1, check 3. Okay, well, this one's going to be needing checked in a couple hours, 2-3 hours. Go home, back to bed, set my alarm again. Get up in the middle of the night. Go do it all again. Nonstop. And again,
your 24 life
24
lesson coming in.
Yeah,
24/7
There it
job.
comes right there. It comes from the farm, and it's a fact. But anyways, and I absolutely loved that. That was one of the greatest parts of my life, and probably the most significant as far as where I'm at today. Truly, because you think about being 11 years old on this farm, work, nonstop, you know, for $1.50 an hour. It was crazy. But so the water, getting up in the middle of the night, it was funny because I was 11, and the guy that owned the farm couldn't do it. He would just go to sleep and get up the next morning and deal with it. So my job was to make sure that didn't happen. So I'm taking care of this water, and and then I would get up, go home, sleep a couple hours. When I was all done, I'd meet up with the day guy, go over where the water was at, what we did, all that through the night, and then I'd go hop on a tractor all day. So I guess the biggest thing I learned from that experience, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But it builds your character in a way that's absolutely amazing. It is not, you don't work till you're tired. You work till you're done.
Well said. Yeah.
Yeah. There is no that
so
period.
the job is done.
Yeah,
You're finished.
Until you're finished. But I would do that all.
There's no in between.
Absolutely
with
not.
something like that.
Yeah. No, it's just has to be handled, and then of course that I always pick on that because to me it was extraordinary because of my age. You know, being 11 years old and all the responsibility and keep the tractors moving and going and taking care of the water. And I remember one night, it's about 4 a.m.
Oh, I know this story.
You know this? Yeah. I'm going back, and I'd been doing this.
I'm watching Erika. You know, just the admiration when you tell
yeah,
the
I love it
stories.
so much. I'm so happy.
She perks up when she knows there's a good story. I got a really good one for her.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going home, and I couldn't stay awake. And I remember, I know what one you're thinking of. I'll tell you.
Okay.
So I'm driving home, and I wasn't very far, a couple of miles from my house, and I was going to check my last head of water. And we probably ran 45, 55 on those dirt roads, you know, and that'll pick up. I fell asleep. Sound asleep behind. I was so exhausted from doing this week after week after weekend. And so I remember all of a sudden I felt the rumbling, and then it was smooth. But the engine was, engine was just screaming. I was in the air when I woke up. And the truck, I had fell asleep. I went down into the borrow ditch and then launched that pickup out of that borrow ditch. So it was about 50 miles an hour.
Wow.
So I wake up and I'm in the air.
Wow.
And whoa. And about that time, kaboom, I hit the ground and I'm all over. Wouldn't let off the gas. Forgot to do that. So I kept it floored, went back out through the field, up and around, back down through the borrow ditch, and then back up on the road.
Wow.
And I went about a mile, turned down this road to go a mile to our house, and I went in and woke my dad up, and I said, I can't, I just fall asleep, and I can't do it anymore. I'm done. I got to sleep. And I slept, if I remember, I think I slept 14 hours. You know, just trying, then bang. So I missed tractor driving for a day, but then I was rested up, ready to go for
One day
the nighttime irrigating again. So yeah, that's a great story. That's fun. You know, fall asleep behind the wheel. I've never done that again. That was scary.
But just that lesson of you do it, you do it till it's done, till it's finished.
Yes.
There's no in between. There's
Absolutely.
No, and I remember my grandfather telling me stories about, working at the farm and there's animals and stuff. And if you don't feed the animals, they're not going to live, right?
Yeah.
They gotta have food and water.
Yeah. So there's no, I'm tired, or I'm sick. You got to do what's got to be done.
And you, more than anyone, would understand that. Being in the position you're in you have your black belt, very successful school. That applies to everything. Doesn't matter what it is, anything in life. And anything worth doing is worth doing poorly till you can do it well. And that applies to me. It's such a big deal to not quit. You only lose when you quit.
That's it. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So that was my big thing on the farm. It's like, well, I'm tired. Well, too bad. Get back out there. Another thing that we did was amazing. We did a lot.
But then also call it, right? We're like, man, I could have died.
Oh,
I need to rest. Hey, Dad, help me out, support me. You asked for help.
Absolutely.
And hey, I need support.
Good
I need
point.
to rest, right? And then
Yeah.
But so you did what you needed to
did.
do.
So I rested for a day and back at it and stuff. But we did so much. There were so many things I remember when I was on that farm that summer. That summer was a big deal. That's why I picked that. That's when I had a truck that, I drove my own truck that worked around the clock. But one of our jobs, me and my cousin, he was 2-3 years older than me. So we'd have to go out in the alfalfa fields. And after the baler, we did on that farm, we did those probably 90-pound bales of alfalfa. Well, they bought this new machine. Oh man, they thought they had arrived. It was a stacker. So instead of loading them by hand out of the field, this stacker would drive along and pick them up, and then it would stack them on this bed, and then that would stand up, and then lay back down and keep going. Well, the only kicker to that was they had to be up on edge. Well, the baler doesn't always drop them that way. So we would walk, me and my cousin would start here and here and walk the entire field and meet in the middle at flipping those bales. So the stacker could pick them up. That's just one of the multiple
So
things.
how did you the lessons, right? These lessons like that are for life, right? Like, okay, $1.50, but the lessons that you learn on working on the farm that summer or those summers, right?
Invaluable.
Like there's no price, right, that you can put on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I should have paid them, for what I learned, just to build my own character. It was amazing. Those life, and that's the only thing I've ever known is hard work. But I believe everybody should have to do that. I mean, and not just farm. I'm just saying hard work.
Yeah.
Hard work builds character. In a way nothing else does. It's incredible.
Yeah. How did you end up in Colorado Springs?
So
I mean, it's near that area.
Yeah. One last story, because I know Erika wants to hear this. This is a terrifying story. Again, 11
I
years
just think
old.
of I teach all the kids all the time.
Yeah.
And I look at them being 11 and I'm like,
Attention span.
no, this story. I'm like, all these stories, but this one in particular stands out, like how I couldn't even handle it as an adult, much less like a child. But go ahead.
So again, 11 years old, I'm out checking my water. And one of the ways that I would do that, I would just simply park at the head ditch, top of the field, and then walk down the land. As soon as you stop splashing, okay, here's the end of the water. Now you can kind of figure out how far it was.
It's like in the middle of the night, pitch
this
black.
Is about 3 a.m. this particular night. And I'm walking, I find the end of the water, and I'm kind of sitting there and I'm calculating, well, let's see, if it's this far to the end, I probably got 2-3 hours. And I'm standing there, and it's pitch black, and it's very quiet. And all of a sudden I hear something splashing in the water behind me, walking down the land. It had 4 legs. To this day, I don't know what it was. But that thing, there are a lot of mountain lions. It could have just been its neighbor's friendly dog. I don't know. But it was pitch black, couldn't see, and I hear this thing walking in the water towards me, between me and the truck. And I'm telling you, I've never been so terrified in my entire life. I think this moment was a defining moment for me of overcoming the fear of the darkness, because I did not know what to do. And I turned around and I started running right up the land, right towards whatever it was.
Towards the thing.
Screaming at the top of my lungs, swinging my shovel.
Oh, wow.
Never saw it, don't know what it was, but yeah, that was definitely one of those.
Run towards the bullets, huh?
Yeah,
He ran straight towards it.
right
Most people
towards
run
it.
away. He just ran straight at it.
Hey, that thing was between me and my truck, and that's a bad place to be. So, but that was. I had to sneak that one in there for Erika, because that was
one of my favorite stories. I don't know.
Terrifying.
Yeah, because when you're scared, you have a choice to run or to fight, and
fight
you
or
chose
flight.
and you chose to fight.
Chose to
Freeze
fight.
too, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes people freeze, right? So, but you.
Yeah, very very scary moment, but yeah. So that's part of
Awesome.
That's probably when my gray hair started. But anyways, I'm sorry, you asked me a question.
When did you go to Colorado Springs?
Oh, okay. So we went, that was big time, a big year for me on the farm. And then my dad moved to Burlington, Colorado on another farm. So at that point, when I was in 8th grade, I moved to Colorado and to live with my dad on the farm. So I just loved it. And so I'd worked summers, wintertime. You had to feed the cattle. So you'd be out there in a blizzard, with a truckload of hay. You're out there busting them bells. And so anyways, that was my, I stayed on the farm. And then when I graduated from high school is when I moved to Colorado Springs. And I moved there in January of '84. And I went up there to go to college, because at this point I decided I wanted to be a mechanic.
Okay.
In my senior year, I worked as a mechanic, a little small town garage there in Burlington. And that's how I ended up in Colorado Springs, was for college. And so I started first year. I went in the middle of the year, January of '84, and so I just did that one semester, and then went back to Burlington, Colorado, and I was pouring concrete, because I made more money doing that than working on cars. So I poured concrete for the summer, and then back to school, and I think it was a little over 2 years. It was a community college. I don't have a degree. I was done with it. School is not my thing, but I wanted those automotive courses. I took all their automotive courses. So it took me about 2.5 years probably. And that's how I ended up in Colorado Springs. And then that's where I met my lovely bride, was in college.
The mom.
Yeah, the mom.
The mother.
So that's a good story. Real quick, I met her. There's this table full of girls that talked her into skipping her lunch hour. And she's got to come see this guy. Nobody understands, a long time ago. I was in pretty good shape back then, pouring concrete. And,
When I first saw you today, I was like, man, you look amazing. And
thank
you're like,
you.
how much
appreciate it.
weight have you lost?
65 pounds.
65 pounds,
Yeah.
right? From when I first met you to like over the years, and
Yep.
you're like Benjamin Button, like getting younger, right? By the years. But really, it's amazing.
I appreciate
Congratulations.
that. Yeah, that's not an easy road, man. That's tough.
Especially,
But
yeah,
again,
you-
commitment time. So.
Going back to the farm, right?
Go back
Step
to
by
farm.
one.
I guess I really appreciate being able to tell that story, because I've never done that, and I never realized how impactful that was on my life. It's a huge part of who I am and why I'm like this, and so.
Why I'm like this.
And when Erika said, "Hey, Alberto wants you to be on this podcast," I'm thinking, "Oh, okay." I don't know what that's all about, but I started reminiscing. That's all I did, was reminisce about that.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, it's amazing to be that young, And
because a lot of kids, right? Like, oh, that's hard work. Like, I don't want to do hard work, but actually, yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you
you
do
do.
actually want to do hard work, and the harder, the better.
Absolutely.
Because you're gonna grow from that experience.
Yeah, it is the greatest thing a kid can do. I truly believe that. You know, watching my kids, and I'm so proud of Erika.
Erika getting up at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
every
every
like-
day.
Get up at 5 and roll your day.
yeah.
It's just, it is what it is. It's just an amazing thing. So, but yeah, that's how I got to Colorado Springs, go to college. So I met Kim. They talk her into. She had a boyfriend and wasn't interested, and but they talked her into coming over to my table and meeting me. There's like 10 girls, and I was a knucklehead. I didn't pay attention to that nonsense. You know, to me, girls were nothing but trouble. I told my nephews that. Told my daughters, boys ain't nothing but trouble, and none of them listened. So, but anyway, she comes over and says, "Hi, how you doing? I'm Kim." And my buddy was Colorado Springs police officer. He was my my partner in the automotive classes.
Okay.
He looks up at Kim and he goes, he's married and he's got 3 kids. She goes, "Oh, great," and sits down. And that's how we met. So next month, we're celebrating our 37th anniversary.
Wow.
So yeah, it's good stuff.
Congratulations.
Good stuff. She still kind of likes me, still puts up with me, so I feel blessed.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun over the years. You guys can both come out as a team by yourselves.
Yeah.
But it's nice, huh? Burbank Airport to Colorado.
Oh, I love that Burbank Airport. You know,
Denver or whatever it is.
He hated flying, and then finally we got him flying just so he could come out here. But yeah, they've both been here for, you know, to see me get all my belts and my black belt, and they've come to watch me compete, and yeah, they've been here, and now they're here for the school. And Mom, man, she's a whole other animal, that one, because she's been here now in the past month from getting the keys. She's been here 3 times, and we all call her the foreman because she took the lead on helping us build the floors, like the subfloor and painting, and she's amazing. So, but it always means so much to me that they're always here. You know, they're always here, and they've always supported me, and they've always pushed me through my whole life. And it's just people, you know, tease like, "Oh, you working a big day today?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." Like, you know, because I had this for an example. Like, since I was young, it was both of my parents, you know, work their butts off every day, all day. It's all I've ever seen them do my whole life. And he said, anything that you want, it's on you. Like, no one can want it for you. No one can make it happen for you. And I've grown up with this example from my parents of hard work and dedication and no excuses. And it's just like a perfect combination of that kind of an upbringing, you know, with them. It was always take extreme ownership, you know, all growing up. And then it was so amazing to move to LA, and then I meet you. And then you were like exactly the same, like to me. Like, if you want it, you go get it. You work hard. There's no excuses. And so it's just really like special to me to watch like the progression from my childhood and then falling into like the legacy community, and then to be able to extend the community. But it means a lot to me to listen to your story and have it be shared.
I just want to jump in here for you. It's been 10 years we've been coming out here, and I'm telling you, your community in your school and your business,
our community, our like I said, our business,
yeah. But they've always treated us so well. It's been an amazing experience. I'm always bragging about you guys. It's such a family-oriented place, and every time, just today, I walked. Kevin comes, Ben, excuse me, I'm sorry. Ben comes walking off the mat and comes over to shake my hand and say hello, you know, and it's been like that from day one. Just amazing group of people. So that's a little plug for you.
Thank you.
Because it's impressive to me.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been really blessed to have,
Yes.
you know, your daughter and just all you, which is, you know, we're all interconnected. And
Absolutely. That's good stuff.
Keep it going. What was I going to ask you? How was it when Erika decided that she wanted to move to LA for you as a dad?
It sucked. That was hard.
How many years has it been now?
It's been a long time.
Since 2012.
12.
Yeah,
like 12
but
years.
it was as a parent, you
Yeah.
know, you can imagine your kids going, "Hey, I'm moving to LA. I'm going to go dance." What? You know, it's like, okay. But you know, I never ever would belittle my kids in anything they wanted to do. Yeah, that's okay. Go get it. And so she did, and it was, man, you're worried all the time, and you know what, Erica's a rock star, so I knew she would do well, and I think that's when we encouraged her to learn a martial art, because we would like you to look, learn something so you can take care of yourself out there. She packed it up and came out here by herself, and would never ask for money. Would never, always so worried about her, you know, and. What do you need? What do you need? Nothing. I'm good. So we got every time. I'm good. You know, I find out she's living on top ramen and barely making her rent. I'm like, really? You couldn't just say anything?
Why didn't you ask? Why didn't you ask your parents for anything, or why did you want to do it on your own?
I think when I didn't make this scholarship program to come out here, you asked me what am I going to do
for dance, right?
dance. Yeah, and you asked me what I was going to do, and I said I made the decision to move out here anyways. And I remember there wasn't a lot of support. Dad and Mom always supported me, but there was a lot of people that said like, "Oh no, you know, you're not gonna make it." And what did you always say when you raise your head above? What did you tell me?
When you raise your head above the crowd, people are going to throw tomatoes.
Yeah.
There's always going to be opposition, because when you go out and go after something and you accomplish it, or you're in the process of accomplishing
People
it,
try to pull you down.
you know, man, people, they want to drag you down to their level.
Yeah.
So that being said, I think I'm very stubborn, like my mother, and and I wanted to prove that I could do it all by myself, and because I wanted to look back and be like, I did it. I didn't know exactly what. I would have never guessed I'd be here, you know, because when I first moved out here, it was for the dream of dancing, but I wanted it to be mine, like all mine. I didn't want anyone, I don't know, I didn't want the handout. I don't know. I just wanted to do it. And now I think I've traumatized them, like, because I didn't have any money. I couldn't even afford gas in the car. I had to walk. I walked to the grocery store. I made $560 a month, and my rent was $500. So I had $60 to survive on per month for groceries and life, and I had to walk everywhere. And they're like traumatized because they're like, you never told us like how bad you were struggling, you know. But I don't think I would ever change that, because it's mine now. Like everything that I built is mine, you know, and I guess I see the way that they have built everything that they have, and like I wanted to do it too. I don't know. It's like a simple way of saying it.
Yeah, I remember watching you and seeing that, you know, because I knew you didn't have to struggle, you didn't have to, but you like chose that you wanted to be like that. You wanted to go through hard times. You wanted to like figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did, and she just owned it. It's good
and
stuff.
step by step, and especially then shifting even to going into this kind of more to the martial arts, jiu-jitsu world, right?
Yeah.
And then even till today, you know, one of the little it's a little thing, but you know, she could afford to drive a whatever Porsche or whatever you wanted, you know, Mercedes, whatever. But she chooses to drive her 4Runner. You know?
I love that 4Runner.
And,
That old Fiat 4Runner.
yeah, and you know, that shows character to me. You know,
Absolutely. We did the same
she has her-
thing.
yeah, go ahead.
She watched us drive junkers for years. Remember? I mean, you know, we have I have a 1978 F-250 four-door pickup. Four doors are really rare. That was our camping truck. And we used to load up the jet skis and load up the camper, and I pulled the jet ski trailer behind the camper with this old truck, right? And that old truck has so many family members. In fact, her sister, I was teasing her here a while back. She says, I said, can I sell that truck? She goes, no. She goes, you want me to put you in a home? I fast forward to that too. Another thing in our life. So I really got into classic cars. Her friend was asking me, how many cars do you have? And I couldn't remember. And I have 19 cars and trucks. Yeah.
You got the property, right?
That's
Here,
right.
like, oh man.
So this old green truck was I had it appraised because I thought, I'm going to put it back on the road, you know. That truck, 25 years ago, I paid $2,500 for it. And that truck appraised at $23,000 for this old truck. And I don't even really know why I told this story other than it's funny how there's things that we get into in life that it's a risk. I bought a whole bunch of classic cars. Well, it turns out that all these classic cars are extraordinarily valuable now. And so there again, it was a risk. I just did this, 3 years ago? I had a King Ranch pickup, I had an Escalade, and then something else. I sold them all.
Cyclone.
Oh, yeah, that was a cool one. But I sold all those vehicles. They were my daily driver's trucks because I was like, I want some cash to go buy all these old cars. And it's turned out to be a great thing. We're sitting on, I don't even know, $200,000 worth of these old vehicles. And it's like, oh, cool. That
was a passion
good.
yours too, right? The cars and mechanic.
Yeah,
and
love
working on
classic
them.
cars. Yeah, I love classic cars, and they're so much fun.
Yeah.
We just did her cousin, Ben, got married, and I have a 76 Lincoln Continental Mark IV. That big old hood, and so that was our wedding car. I picked them up at the send-off, took them to their, just fun, fun stuff. So.
Yeah.
Not that it means anything, just kind of a fun story. But
Yeah. So tell me about how you started your business, or how you got into business.
Okay.
Because that was one of the
the
things.
Yeah. How we doing? I got enough time?
We're good. Yeah.
Just cut me off. I'll talk all day. Sorry. But
I just checked. I was like, okay, we're good.
Okay, good. It was so. I'll take you back. 2004 is when I went to work there as an employee, and that guy.
What kind of?
I went to work there as a service writer.
But what was the
automotive repair? So
Gotcha.
I've been in that my entire life. By the way, it's kind of cool. 1982, I got my first mechanic job. I was in that little small town, and then it's just growing from there. So I've stayed in that car world for 42 years. Yeah. But anyways, so 2004, I went to work at this place, and I just fell in love with the small town atmosphere. I had multiple jobs as technician, service writer, service manager and stuff along the way, and it was just, I felt like I was getting back to my roots. This place, our place is so cool. It's out in the country. It's in Black Forest, Colorado. And so it's out of the city. It's really beautiful. It's kind of like Flagstaff. Reminds me a lot of Flagstaff, all the pine trees and stuff. So anyways, I go to work, just small town kind of atmosphere. And it's really good. I worked there. So that was 2004. Fast forward to 2012 when I bought it from the previous owner. The story to me is all in how we were able to accomplish that, because he was going through a horrible divorce, and that place, there's so much. I'm not going to do it justice, but I'll give you some highlights. But like he was in big trouble financially. He owed everyone in town, every vendor, everybody in town owed him money.
This was the owner of the business?
This was the owner of the business at the time, the previous owner that I worked for. And I sat in his office one night, 2.5 hours, and I said, look, I says, you don't have to lose this place. Let me help you. And I laid out a whole plan for him where in 12 months, he could have completely reversed that and turned it all around and really it would have done well. But he was so defiant and wouldn't listen to anybody. And I think at that night is when
he was losing money because of bad decisions.
Bad decisions.
Just not running it right. Okay.
Yeah, correct. Not running it right.
Not gambling or anything.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
Who knows, yeah. That we know.
He was selling cars, and he got pretty strung out, and he just started making bad decisions. And like, we'll always pick on this one example. He had a Dodge pickup. He would buy salvage title vehicles and fix them up. Now, that's not a bad thing. When he first started, he was doing very well. He knew how to pick them. He knew it because he had a mechanical background. But this one truck was such a great example. I used it in that meeting that night I talked to him. He bought this truck. He had $30,000 in it by the time it was done. Well, he was always behind the 8 ball financially, and he dumped it for 17 grand to make payroll.
Oh, wow.
But he would do that kind of stuff over and over and over again. And then I was running the shop so he could do cars, and that little shop just carried that whole mess for years. I found out later.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, that was so I made the decision that night that I was going to stick it out and see if I could find a way to buy the shop, because he wouldn't listen. And I knew where it was headed. You can't sustain that, constantly losing money. Like that truck, if he lost $10,000, $12,000, $13,000, you'd have to sell 13 cars at $1,000 profit to get back to zero.
Right.
Can't sustain that. So anyways, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to see what we can make happen. And sure enough, it got worse and it got worse and it got worse and worse. And then to finally... every day I was going in there, and that's when I went back to the farm, because I felt like God wouldn't release me from that place. Man, because it'd been easy to quit, because it was miserable. Every single day that the police there, because he was harassing his ex-wife, they'd sit me down. I'd have to talk to him. Who are you? What do you do? Here's what, all I do is run the shop. And it just progressed and got to a point where then he went on a run. Oh, so we get this deal put together. I'm going to buy it. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere 8 months later. And we had a court date. And so me and this other gal that worked for him, she worked for me for a couple years, 2-3 years after the fact. But anyways, her and I, we drive in and go to court. Well, at this time he's on the run. Yeah. From the law. Because he wouldn't show up to stuff. He was super defiant.
Like owing or...
everything. Texting his wife, and every time he wasn't supposed to communicate with her. He did it out of spite. Yeah, restraining orders. So he's on the run. So we go to this court date. And I remember her being on the phone with him, and he's losing his mind. They're gonna lock me up, and I can't do it, and I'm not going in. And he was that guy. Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, he's not gonna show up. So I go into this courtroom, and sure enough, that's the day he ran. And I'll never forget. So I sit there and I got chewed out for 45 minutes by this judge, and I said, I looked at her and I said, do you realize that I'm the one that's trying to buy it? I'm trying to keep these people employed. I'm trying to keep it alive so everybody gets something. Yeah. And she didn't care.
Service the community,
Yeah, she had it out for this guy. So I'll never forget.
Blamed you.
Yeah, blamed me. That was always my fault.
Yeah,
everything's always been my fault. I'm okay with that. But anyway, we go back and sit in the car, and she's freaking out. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Man, I don't really know. I says, how much money do we have? Because at that point, I was not privy to the money. It was just her and him. She goes, well, he cleaned out the bank account. We have $200. I'll never forget.
Cleaned it out so he could run.
So he could run.
Wow.
Yeah, because he made that decision to run. So I'm thinking, I looked at her and said, I can't open the front door for $200. And at this point, it was like, there was maximum stress.
And it was months.
It was several months at this point that I'd already been trying to keep it from being leaned.
Right.
I'd give a little bit of money here and there. It's probably about 15 parts vendors that he owed money to. Any one of them could have leaned the place at any time. That would have killed my deal. So anyways, I'd been doing all that, keeping him happy, keeping a little bit of money going here and there, and he runs. And I remember looking at her and going, I don't know what to do. This is a total uphill battle. Every time I turn around, he's sabotaging the place.
Yeah.
You know, now every time he took all the money, and she's freaking out. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I said, I don't know. I don't know yet. She goes, well, you coming in tomorrow? Because everybody see it. I was so stressed out and so done and so over. And I said, yeah, right. I ain't smart enough to not show up, so I'll be here. But we went back to the shop, and I had a meeting. I remember I pulled all my guys together, and I had a meeting, and I said, look, here's what's going on. Here's what he did. I have no money. He took the payroll money. He took everything. And I'll never forget, this is one of them defining moments. I said, so I can't pay you guys yet. And I'll never forget, every one of them goes, I think it was Frank. Frank goes,
He's still with you.
He's still with me. Yeah, he left for a little bit, but he came back. So he's still with me. And he goes, all right, Aeschliman, let's see what you got. I'll stick around for a couple weeks. And then they all fell asleep. It was so incredible. And I'm thinking, okay, these guys now I know they're counting on me. So I go home. I said, all right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I go home and I come back. I got up and I truly believe that God was putting these things on my heart, because and I woke up and I said, and he said, offer everyone a 20% cash discount. Well, that might work. So that just might work. So I go in, I tell her, grab all those work orders from yesterday, call every one of those customers, offer them a 20% cash discount. If they pay cash, it's 20% off. Because by now, at this point, I could not write a check anywhere in town. Couldn't do anything. And you remember that, I've told you that 100 times. It was so cool. By the end of that day, we had $2,400 cash. And then not long after that, he got caught. So now he's in jail. Wow. So now he can't take the money. I mean, I'm telling you, that place got so healthy so fast. We started, and people kept doing the cash. Oh, so there was a company that had a $15,000 judgment against him.
Wow.
So they kept trying to hit the bank account. So I programmed the credit card machine so that it wouldn't batch out. So it's all that money sat in the credit card machine. Then on Thursday night, I'd batch it out. She would go to the bank first thing Friday morning, pull all the money out. Because they were, and then I programmed it back.
Didn't you have to pay all of the vendors? Like you had to, because they wouldn't, you couldn't pay them.
Yeah, right? So they called. I'm trying to think, Undercar and Napa. Those were my two key folks. All of them cut us off from parts. They said, we cannot send you parts anymore. And I remember
That's
telling
the business, right?
Yeah, that's it. I can't put
money,
parts
no
in the
parts.
car. Yeah, no money, no parts, no. So I remember telling the gentleman that ran Undercar Plus. He's from out here. He started it out here and now lives in Colorado Springs. But I said, look, I tell you what. I said, I know corporate told you to stop sending me parts. And I said, and I told him everything I was doing. At that time, we were deep into, we got contracts. We got, that's a whole nother story. We got the money to do it. It's amazing. The entire community came together and invested in Kim and I. They just come in and start writing us checks. And that's how we got to where we could purchase it. It wasn't nothing I did. It was they all invested in us. It was amazing.
And so you actually purchased the whatever that was still?
Yep. So I purchased, at that time it was Black Forest Service Center, and we bought it. And then it's been Black Forest Automotive Inc. ever since. But the community came together, helped us with the money. That's a good story about my wife. She's a pit bull, man. I always joke about shaking the cage and cutting the chain because I couldn't do it. I was so stressed out. I was falling apart. And she goes, do you want some help? And I said, yes. Because I was trying to keep her from being lean. I was handing out $50 bills all over town. So anyway, let me back up to the cash part. I said, if you will keep sending me parts, I'll pay cash for every part when it comes in. And I said, and let me see what I can do. And he goes, all right, I'll take that risk. Because I told him, we're trying to buy it. We're trying to do this. So they started sending me parts for cash. Then Napa did it for me, too. They kept, because they all were told by corporate, stop sending them parts. He owed a minimum of $10,000 to every one of these parts places. So I told Casey, I said, undercar. I said, if you'll do that for me, I says, if I get through this and I get this bought, I said, I'll pay his debt to you. And he did that for me, and I did it for him. I paid his debt, paid that other guy's debt.
Made payments. We made a
Yeah,
deal with him.
yeah,
Like,
made
hey,
a deal. We had him. We had it down to $8 or $9 grand, and I think I just took him within a year. We paid him off. So anyway, that's one.
And he's still one of your vendors.
Still one of my vendors. Yeah, great people. But yeah, wow, there's a lot to that story. I couldn't tell it all in 3 hours, but I just trying to give you some great highlights.
Yeah,
yeah, the stress and the. But it comes back to what I said about the learning on the farm is it's you're not done when you're tired, you're done when it's done. And I kept pushing every day. And then that deal, this little nuggets, the deal with the cash, offering a cash discount, gave us it was incredible. So 30 days later, so he's locked up now, right? He's out of the picture. He can't take the money. He can't. 30 days later, we're handing out 50s and 100s. We're paying everybody in cash. We've been making payroll with cash.
Yeah.
Got them all caught up. And we had 40, 50, 60 grand in this bank bag at any given time. It got so healthy. We're running it out of a bank bag for, how long did we do that? 3 months, I think. Incredible.
What sticks out to me is, of course, the farm story, right? Like the character, who it made you as a person. But then because of that, people saw who you were as a person, and they believed in you.
They did. They really did.
From the employees to the community to your customers.
Yeah.
And then, again, going back to the character, you were going to follow through. You were going to, finish till it was done, and you were going to do a good job.
Yeah. Failure was not an option. I'll tell you what, you try to go to sleep at night, owing people that you love and care about that much money, you can't walk away from that. It has to work. You can walk away from a bank, that's easy, but not that. And today, if you fast forward to today, my gosh, it's thriving. I have an extraordinary crew of people. I really do.
One of the things that Erika has shared with me as well, just the people that you've had there, they've been there for forever.
Yeah, a long time.
Well,
Yeah.
They've been seeing me since I was little.
Yeah. Brian, one of my guys, he's been there longer than I have. Yeah, he's been there. Gosh, I've been there 20 years. He's probably been there 25, 27 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good stuff.
That shows also character and like the right culture, environment.
Yeah, making it, and they do great. I don't, they every now and again something. Oh, there's a stumbling block, but overall, I mean, they're amazing. All of them.
Yeah.
The mechanics, the service people, the service guys are fantastic. Customers love them. They take good care of because I always used to tell them when I would hire them, I would say, don't ever let the money be number one. Your number one priority is to take care of these people and their cars.
The relationships,
Period. Relationships.
You always said, take care of the people, and the people will take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was proven in the fires. They almost lost the shop to really bad fires.
Oh, yeah, forgot.
And the whole community came together to make sure, like, no. This is, they all came together to make sure the shop survived. And even in tragedy, people losing their homes and their horses and their animals through these horrible fires, the whole community came together to take care of Dad in the shop because that's what you do for the whole community.
I can't even tell that story today. I get super emotional because it's amazing. I need to write it down so people could hear it, but I can't do it. I just break down every time I talk about that. That was an extraordinary thing to go through. So, again, the community, we're always there for the community, and they had our back. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So, I don't know. That's definitely touching on the highlights, huh?
Because you're saying failure is not an option, and then because of that same energy, the community is like, no, failure is not an option for this place, for this place that takes care of us.
Yeah,
you're not going anywhere.
It's incredible that paying it forward. That Black Forest fire hit 1 year after we opened. And never forget that. We made it a little bit. We got through the fire and we were closed for 11 days. And Kim and I had managed to save about 40 grand. And we come out of that fire and we had $800 left. It was like, oh my gosh. But we paid all of our employees, we paid the vendors, we paid the utilities, and man, we opened up. It was on a Saturday. Boom, business as usual. Everybody came in. We weren't even open on Saturdays. Everybody came in. So we had cars still hanging on the racks. That's how fast we had to leave for that Black Forest fire. But
that's why I did it all by myself. That's why I made it by myself, because of that.
Yeah, right.
That was my example.
But yeah, it's pretty good. It's been an amazing journey. So someday I might be able to tell that story, but I still can't. That's 13. That was, good Lord, was that 12 years ago, and I can't do it. I absolutely break down because of the extraordinary people involved in that and their support for us, and pretty wild. That fire stopped in our parking lot.
Wow.
Yeah, it was coming. It was just raging through there. Nothing behind us survived. Nothing, for as far as you could see.
But the edges of the building were burned, and like some of the cars on the edges of the lot were burned, and that's where it stopped.
I used to joke, that place is made out of firewood, man. It's log siding. And the fire, and they came up that gully on the east side of the building, and then that's where we parked all the cars when they were finished. And there was I think there was two that burned to a shell. I mean, the aluminum from the transmissions ran out into the parking lot, and we lost a total of 6 cars, I think. So it could have been way worse. But I forget where I was going with that. I had a point. Like I said, I struggled with that one. But
I think just the fact, right, that, your character, who you are as a person, and because Kim, like the way how you guys show up for everybody, they showed up for you when you guys were in need,
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, they made sure that we were well taken care of, and we took care of that. We took care of the Southern Baptist. I'll never forget that. The Southern Baptist Relief Group was there shortly after the fire. And I just fell in love with these people. They're good old boys from Kentucky, man. They ain't got no teeth. Old Bill. Remember Bill? And he comes wandering in there. Well, y'all fix a tar for me? And I went, a tar? He goes, a tar. And he's rolling. Oh, a tire. Yeah, sure, Bill. No problem. And it was an audible voice from God. He says, you fix everything and don't charge them. I'm like, okay. So this was a great... what do you call that? Like a great lesson in just obedience and
following your intuition.
Just obedience to God, because He said, "Fix it all and don't." And I fixed everything. I'll never forget that. If they came in, there was no bill. And I don't even know, I couldn't even tell you how many thousands and thousands of dollars it was. I fixed people's personal cars that came from other states to help them. I mean, it was wild.
Didn't the community make you a big banner?
Oh yeah, don't talk about that. That'll get me in tears.
The community
made
a big,
huge.
Because he's fixing everybody's cars. People were coming and they needed propane, and he was just filling up propane for people. And then the community came and they made him like a giant banner to go all the way across the
that was pretty
shop.
cool.
Like thank you, like a thank you banner.
And then I did that big thank you banner. It hung up there for years till it fell down. 5-6 years. I left it up. Because another critical thing is you got to remember where you came from. It's so important to remember that because it matters. I left that sign up there for years because, like, man, if it wasn't for some of these first responders and stuff, we wouldn't even. They would have bankrupted me had that building burned down. So, but it's just rocking and rolling and thriving today.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. It's interesting, right? Because during the pandemic, just like it was, it makes me think about that, just like that time, you went back home to spend time with your family because we didn't know what was going on. Yeah. We had to close up, and we were in essential, right? And just what the community kind of did for us here too,
Yes. I remember that. I was so proud of you guys for basically. I'm trying to keep this clean because I'm sure there's kids watch.
Yeah.
But what I said to Erika, it's like, man, good for them. They're just come and get it. That's how I feel. It's like, you think you can take it away? I dare you. I was so proud of you guys for that. I truly was.
We're like 100% dedicated to our community and their betterment and their wellness.
Yes.
And at that point, we knew what was good for people. I knew what I needed. I know, and not even know people from the kids to the adult, everybody.
Sure.
Like we're a place for people to to be healthy, and whatever there's things going on. This is the solution, right? We are the solution. We're
Absolutely,
not something that's hurting, right?
Yeah.
And that was the decision, and then just draw the line in the sand, and then like, nope, like we're gonna do this till the end.
Yeah.
You may not even know how powerful that is, because people, just everyday folks, they need a hero, and people like you who are stepped up during that time, and you were that. They're like, wow, they're still open. They're letting us come in and train. I was so proud of you guys. I really was, because I remember talking to a news lady there, and I said, tell me what's not essential. How do you determine that?
Right.
We're all essential.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was always very proud of you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, running towards the bullets, right?
Yeah,
running towards the bullets.
Running towards the...
But yeah, it's like this is what people needed, and
Amen.
for their mental health, body health, everything, right?
Absolutely.
And how can I go against that when I know what's right and what's wrong?
Absolutely.
Even though people are telling me it's supposedly wrong, but then I didn't care about how people if they feel different. I just, it's about just training, showing up, doing the right things. I don't care. All the other stuff.
Sure.
Because people got so divided, on their beliefs and stuff. But for me, just train, just show up. If you want to, if you don't, it's okay too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I was super proud of you guys.
Give them a place.
Give them a place.
Give them a place.
And I think that was our general attitude, right? With everything. We don't judge anybody. It's all good. But don't stop some people that want to do it.
Yeah.
If you're worried about anything, don't come. But if you want to, we're here.
I remember just receiving so many messages about people saying like, you have no idea how much I needed this for my mental health. That was like the biggest thing is, we're creatures that need community, and it was a really important time for people to have community, and those that I still get messages, to this day, like, thank you for like being there for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys, you became people's heroes, because not everyone is like us. Not everyone will go out and do things like that, but man,
do the right thing when supposedly
they desperately need somebody to do it. So that's what was was the magic for you. It's good stuff. Yeah, very good stuff.
You got to mention, coming in here, like legacy, and meeting me and your dad and your mom. Of course, you always talk about your mom. What are the things? Could you kind of go more into that? Like, what are the things, the similarities that kind of like really resonate with you?
The things
that makes legacy, because we talk about our culture and the community, and what makes legacy different, what makes it special. So and I think it's intertwined with you and your mom and dad and their values and from the farm and
the value I think that we hold like so well is the people first. People first. You walk into other gyms, or I visit other gyms, you see them online, and there's like arrogance to some of it, or ego to a lot of it. Like, hey, look at me. Like, hey, look at us. Like, oh, we're so good with our skills, and those things are great. I don't want to discredit those things, because a lot of these academies have built like their own kind of community. But the reason why I feel like legacy is so important, for me, I'll speak for myself, is being brought up in a place where you put people first, community first, family first. That's what I feel like people get when they come train at Legacy. And, on top of everybody here feeling like we make everybody feel like a somebody. We acknowledge our people. We take care of our people. We notice, our coaches notice if someone's having a bad day, and they take the time to, hey, like, Jiu-jitsu aside, Muay Thai aside, Tac Fit aside, like, are you okay as a person? And I know for me, like, being in LA and not having my family, this was my family. And I stuck around for all of these years because I took care of the kids, I took care of the community, but they equally took care of me. And then on top of that, we can put it down. Our coaches are phenomenal jiu-jitsu. Our instructors are very knowledgeable. Our instructors even more so, like they're pushing to expand their education. And
Always
so
studying, always
always
improving,
studying,
competing, pushing themselves, getting out of the comfort zone.
yeah, and working on our inner teams, you know, and the communication behind the scenes, so we can continue to deliver excellence to the community. It's only getting better, and it's only getting stronger. But that's something that to me always stuck out was I found a place that aligned with the people first and the community first, and then if you have that as your core, you know, the skills and the business and everything else kind of branches off of it. But like, what's your fundamental, like what's the base that's holding this place together? You know, different schools are known for different things, but I feel like for us, it's like, it's so authentic. It's so real. It's so genuine. You know, we've had our gala and we have our second gala coming up, and like, it was just a big party for everybody, and everybody loved to be there, and everybody connected. And you see, it wasn't like cliques. It's not cliques. It's everybody intermingling and taking people's seats and coming together, and our graduations as well. And everybody comes to support. And even if they're not getting belts, the whole side and edges of the mat are full of people, and people don't just show up to these sorts of things if it's not impacting them personally. And so to see how many people we pull together and they want to be a part, like that's it. That should be the root and continue to be the root as we grow. But that's why I think legacy is so important to me, because just I'm hoping, because I've talked about Dad all the time on podcasts and Mom, but that's the stem. Those are my roots. And so for
your
me
values,
to be,
that he ingrained in
ingrained in
who
me
you
from
are.
little, you know, the hard work and the people and being genuine. And so to come here as like a transplant and not have people, and then to find that within legacy, that's why I think I've made this place my home for the last decade, because it was my home away from my home and my roots.
You should tell them that story. I know you don't like telling it. Oh yeah, sorry. That what your mother made you do when you were young.
I really struggled. We've talked about this on like other podcasts. I really struggled in school, like really badly. You know, just barely graduated high school. I always say I only graduated high school because my guidance counselors liked me as a person, not because of my GPA. Like if you looked at my GPA, there's no way I should have graduated. But I really struggled in school, and I was always very different. You know, struggle with ADHD and various things. And my mom, because my self-esteem was going down, and I was not okay with her. And so she used to make me, it wasn't an option. She would make me go in the mirror in the bathroom, and she would make me look at myself in the eyes and say, I am a winner. And, you know, I would be like, I'm a winner. And she wouldn't, it used to make me so angry because she wouldn't let me, no. Like, try again. Oh, I'm a winner. No mumbling. You got to look at yourself and say it. And I would say it with attitude or whatever. And then so finally she would make me yell, like look at myself in the mirror and yell at myself that I was a winner. And she used to make me do that all the time. And she used to say, like, you might not believe it, but you got to start saying it every single day, and then you're going to believe it one day. And those are it's such a valuable tool. Like as a child or young, kid, I didn't realize the impact, but then now moving forward, I do that to my kids. I do that to all my students. You know, I can, I will, I must. I believe in my technique. I got that one from you when I was competing. You know, the power of like self-affirmation is amazing. And that's something Mom had me do when I was young, and I didn't believe it and I struggled, but you know, you say it so much to yourself that you believe it, and then it's now a tool that can be shared. But yeah,
change you, right?
Yeah,
Change you.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There was no option. It was
no option.
Trapped in the bathroom until she'd wouldn't let me out until I said it with conviction. She's like, you have to convince me you're a winner. And when you mumble, when you look down, I don't believe you, you know. And she's like, if I don't believe you, then you won't believe you. So you got to believe it. You got to look yourself in the eye, and you got to yell that you're a winner. So yeah, she made me do that.
I remember that, just to follow up with that, one of the things that I said to Erika early on is she started, because you could tell her self-esteem was really, really failing, and she started making the comments about, well, you know, I'm no good at this, and I'm no good at that, and I can't do this. I said, let me tell you something. I said, failure is an event, not a person. And I truly believe that, you know. the only way you fail is you don't get up again. And
Quit, yeah.
For you, as a black belt in jiu-jitsu, that's got to resonate, because it's as true in life. But she'd go, huh? So, but anyhow.
So I was gonna ask you. So your daughter is out here doing jiu-jitsu, doing like let's say a male, but male dominated, especially like back 10 years plus. It's a lot more. I mean, how many black belts do we have? I mean, we have women.
We have a lot of women now.
Black belt women too. But back 10 years ago, it wasn't like that. So, how is it as a dad seeing your daughter kind of go into this? Being around that, kind of putting her life into this. What were your thoughts on it?
Once I came out here and got to meet you all, man, I was all in, because I saw the family. Just, you guys are like such a tight, amazing family of people, so supportive. You're always there. You always got each other's back. So once I experienced that, I was all in. I truly was. I thought, wow, that is an amazing thing, to have that kind of support system.
You were always supporting me, because I was telling you, you and Mom, I was going to open a school, and I didn't even have a blue belt yet.
Yeah. Yep. I said, what did I say?
You said lots of things.
I said, why not you?
Why not me?
Why not you?
Why not you?
So it's been a blessing for me to watch her go and go through these life experiences, and some of them are hard. It don't matter. Just take it on the chin and get up and go. It's pretty incredible. So very, very proud of my daughters, both of them. Yeah, they're
just
both
always curious,
amazing.
like the perception, right? Your first impression when you first saw her kind of doing this grappling things, and the training. What was your first impression with jiu-jitsu? You never watch any of the UFCs or anything like that? Or
no, never have. Actually, growing up on that farm, that was my world. I never got into sports. I never played sports. Did any of that. So it was like, but it reminded me a little bit of wrestling.
Wrestling, right?
My cousin was extraordinary wrestler in high school, so I used to go watch him and stuff. That was my only thing even close to jiu-jitsu, and even that's way different, But my first impression, was the people.
The people, okay.
Honestly,
because you came out here.
Yeah, I came out here.
Yeah, he came after, because it was really hard. Like, I didn't even know what jiu-jitsu was when I started it, and I was a dancer my whole life, and so when I would try to explain it to them, I don't think they really I don't really get it. Like, if you like it, okay, cool. But they flew out to come to one of my very first. I had only been training for like 3 months, and they came out for my first.
That was before you were here, I think, right?
No. You flew out for me to watch my first jiu-jitsu competition.
Oh,
that's where I was going.
Yeah.
So I had only been doing jiu-jitsu for like 3 months. And I signed up for a tournament, and they came out to watch, and they watched me just get demolished. And he's like,
"Was it the one where you hurt your arm?" No,
okay, that was in blue belt. But they came out, and they were like, "You like this stuff?"
I still have trauma from that. Why do you do this to me?
I give him trauma, because I would never tap in the blue belt and get armbarred in matches, and I hear Alberto just tap, please, dear Lord, tap. And then now we would go to tournaments together, and then he'd be giving me my pep talk, like, believe in your technique, like this and that, and he's like, please tap.
So think you get caught, whatever.
Like, if you get caught, it's okay. Just, we got to train. So that was a big lesson for me, and now I give that to my students. But I remember you guys coming out and watching jiu-jitsu, and you were just kind of like, I got beat up, but you were like, you like this? And I was like, I love this.
You got pummeled in like 38 seconds or something. It's like, wow, I just flew out here, spent all this time, and wow, okay.
You like this?
So get up, go do it again.
Yeah.
Why do I have to wait till the next one?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
But then Mom came out for my second tournament.
Yeah.
And I'm getting that medal and that picture framed right now for the school, because it was my second tournament in Huntington Beach. Mom came out, and then I won, and that was my second tournament, was my first gold, and I was like, I am doing this. And then you guys
a picture with your mom?
It.
Yeah.
No,
I do have a picture with my mom.
You winning.
And I have my podium picture and my medal, and at white belt. And I remember from then on, I would always go home to Colorado and visit and say, this is what I'm doing. I love it.
Yep.
And they were behind it. And then for years, though, because I always said, I'm going to have a school when I'm a black belt. I'm going to have a school when I'm a black belt. And for years, they tried to get me to move back to Colorado.
Oh, we worked it hard, buddy.
I bet. I always thought that, like, man, she's got to go back. Like, she's going to move back. I thought, like, part of me.
Yeah. That would
Because
have been
the way
awesome.
the connection she has with you guys. And
Yeah.
even, but then I went out there, I think a couple times, or maybe just that one time.
Yeah.
When
you
I was
came
with
out.
all you guys,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
No,
fun.
it was a couple times. We went to the Denver,
Yep. It was the
IBJJF
Denver Open.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
IBJJF
that's right.
Open.
Yeah, but it's there again. That would have been really awesome. That would have been amazing. Have her back in Colorado, but her roots are here. Honestly, I mean, you guys are all here. The people. I watch these kids; they just absolutely love her, And man, this is home for. I hate to say that. I can't believe I'm saying it, but
I
it's
can't believe
home
we're saying
for
that
her.
either.
Yeah, no, it really is. It truly is. You got to go where you have to go where God takes you and where your heart takes you, and your heart has never taken you back to Colorado. So, hey, plane tickets aren't on back order. We can come visit.
There we go.
Yeah.
But
Thank God for Burbank
yeah.
Airport.
Thank
right?
God for Burbank
Oh,
Airport.
I love Burbank too because I hate flying and I love that little airport. I like getting off the back of the plane. I think that's so cool. But yeah, no, it's good stuff. Life is good. She's doing great. Couldn't be more proud. I'm getting back in shape. I
Yeah.
appreciate you noticing because it's man, what a struggle that's been.
And it's like goes back to the character, like, okay, like, oh, I can't do it. I can and I will.
Yeah.
And you did it and you
Yeah.
do it. Like not that it's easy, but you're
Yeah.
you're gonna follow through
Well, you
till it's
got-
done.
You got really sick, You got really sick, and you were
Yeah.
having really bad health issues.
I had a heart attack. I
You
had a heart attack in 2019.
Yeah.
And I remember we had a call, and it was like almost the roles reversed. When I wanted to move out to LA, you said, well, what are you going to do about it? And then I did it to you. So what are you going to
Yeah.
do about it? You're 65 pounds, 70 pounds overweight. Your numbers are off the charts for diabetes. You just had a
Yeah,
heart
it's
attack.
terrible.
I'm like, what are you going to do? Like, I was like, I need you. Mom needs you. Jay needs you. Like, what are you going to do? And we talked about like picking your hard,
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
have to pick your hard, and
You do.
you just, it's awesome to see like that full send mentality of like, I gotta change my life or I'm not gonna have a life to change. And you did that. You would call me and at grocery stores, and we'd learn how to read labels. And
Yeah.
I got him.
Oh, shoot. I'm so sorry. I forgot to shut that stupid thing off. Yeah. But,
It's probably Mom.
The
Thank you.
I remember you showing him like because you're doing the tack fit and you're doing some into flow with him, and
Yes.
you could see how his
Yeah.
thoracic was all
Yeah.
restricted.
Because you had never exercised. You were very overweight, and your mobility was terrible. And when he started losing weight just from diet, and
Yeah.
I was helping him with his nutrition, and he's like, well, I need to exercise. And I'm like, well, you are not ready to exercise. I was like, when you're ready to exercise, I have a personal trainer I know in LA, in Colorado, and we'll get you with her. But I was like, you're not ready for that. I was like, this is what you're ready for. And so I filmed the tack fit warm up and
Into-flow,
the
yeah.
into flow. I
Yep.
filmed it for him, and I made it on a little YouTube video, and I sent it, and I made him, did you do your into flow? Did you do your warm up? And that's how he started to get his mobility back, and it was just as simple. He couldn't even move his neck like side to side. Your
It's crazy how
shoulders,
you
your
just
hips.
forget
well,
disregard. Well, just you kind of like you don't pay attention, right? You just
Man.
focus on your whatever you got to
do.
do.
When I was building that business at that shop, I was all in.
Yeah.
And I worked some weeks. I worked 100 hours. And it just because if I wasn't working the business, I was working on the building or whatever, So you just go along for years, and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I am not doing well here physically.
I remember the pivotal moment for me to then suggest you to go do personal training after he had been focusing on the tack fit into flow. He called me and he said, you wouldn't believe it. I just picked an ice cube up off the floor. I dropped it when it comes out of the fridge, and I just picked it up off the floor. I didn't even kick it underneath. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's how
why
bad
are you
it was.
calling me? And he's like, well, I can't. I look at it when it falls. He's like, I don't want to go down there and pick it up, so I kicked it under the fridge. And he goes, I just picked it up. And I was like, all right. we can exercise now. You know, you're not
little successes.
It's little successes, and then it's just then over the last couple years of you getting in shape with your personal trainer and your diet and keeping your numbers down. Now you're doing all sorts of things. You know, playing with my nephew, picking up ice off the floor. You know, you're moving, and it's been really awesome to see because I did not like seeing him unhealthy and and so to watch you like every time I go home and I'm like, man, you're looking good. And so we walked in today.
Legacy, that tight Legacy shirt.
I know,
coming
right?
in, jeans. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Great today, by the way.
No, but you look crazy.
I know, it's
like,
crazy.
This is fit guy, Yeah,
it's great. It's amazing. It is. It feels good to feel good.
Yeah. No, you used to have a belly. It's like lean, bone, waist.
Big belly. I had more chins than a Chinese phone book. Yeah, it's terrible. But no, life's good. Life's
amazing.
Good. When I was young, you used to think, so I'm going to be 60 in March. And when I was young, that seemed so far away. And now I'm knocking on the door of 60. And I thought, man, that is not old. I got to get busy because that is not old. And I have my little grandson, and he's getting fun about a motorcycle. Oh, man, and he has no fear. So he's going to be a handful of teeth. He hops on, takes off, crashes, But anyways, that's all the little special moments that I got to look forward to, So you work this hard, so many years, and now I'm at a place where I have time, I have money, I have, and I want to enjoy that. So the only thing holding me back was health. So now we're overcoming that.
Amazing. So you guys, hard workers, how do you balance everything? What's the, you have some
date night.
Date night.
37 years, right?
37 years next month. Yeah. It is. It's and sometimes it's tough, but I think Erika would agree. Kim and I have always worked very well together. So instead of her going this way and I going that way, and with our hobbies, we still do that. She's into Legos. I'm into cars and guns. And she's
like randomly opposite, right?
Mom's got her puzzle closet and her Lego room.
Lego room,
Dad's got his.
But when it comes
let her do her thing. Same me and AD, right?
But when we're working on projects together, we work very well together, and I think that's a big deal. Keep the projects going, keep having date night. I don't know. I'm a pretty simple guy. I don't overthink.
You go camping. You go fishing with your friends.
Yeah, we razor riding.
Go razor riding.
We bought a big toy hauler and a side-by-side and a diesel truck, and we take off, go to Moab. And,
I love those.
I finally rolled that thing, by the way. I rolled it in April. Whew, that's no fun. But, got it all fixed up. Yeah, it's cool. So, doing stuff together. Even it doesn't have to be everything, but it has to be something, something that you both love to do.
Yeah.
And it makes it, not that I'm not the answer man. I don't, but was our secret, our personal secret is just always doing, and always respect the other person's needs and stuff like that. But date night, that's a big one.
I think, for me, it's about, it's difficult to find balance. I think that's something that I'm really working on is that work-life balance because I go all in and then I'm all in. But I think for me, it's like the relationships so similar, like spending time with Amanda, spending time with Krista, Manya, like my really close friends, and when I'm with them, it's no work related. We talk about life, we talk about ideas, we talk about memories, we talk about things that inspire us and having the more human connection and, kind of turning off that like robot work brain and having the human connections and then various hobbies. I love art. So in the evenings, I come home, have my routine, I put my stuff away, and then I like to do art. I like to read. So it's just like little things, I think little things where you can come home and kind of turn off for a little bit, do something you like, read a book, go to dinner, it keeps you going.
Use a different part of the brain to recover the other part of the brain, right?
Yeah, and try new fun stuff. I mean, we don't do lots of that, but the only example I think it was recently I got into long range shooting. So, excuse me, it was just 1,000 yards. Wow. So it's a little over half a mile. And I got to where I could shoot a group that big, at half a mile. And so it's like, this is kind of cool. I could do this for a while. So it's just something new, the same kind of stuff, but
newness, right?
some little tweak or some little thing that you do different.
Yeah, I piggyback on that. I started taking Spanish lessons and sign language lessons because I was like, I want something that's like different. Like I love physical activity, but when I'm not training jiu-jitsu or lifting, it's like my body was needing rest because I love to swim, bike, hike, all those things. But that's why I lean into the art. And then I leaned into signing up for just Zoom language lessons to give yourself something else, something else to grow and challenge you.
Yep, agreed. It doesn't have to be a big thing, just like that. I've been into guns my whole life, but just one different thing with the same kind of stuff. It just, it makes a difference. So
Never stop learning, right? Never stop improving.
Absolutely. Yeah. Kim and I went to a car show this summer, and we pulled up, and I have a really nice 93 Bronco, and it's all painted. I've got it totally restored. So we pull up, and this way was the parking lot, and this way was the show. And the guy's pointing to the show. And I said, oh, no. I said, I appreciate it. I said, we're just here to go look. He goes, oh, no, you're putting that thing in the show. Well, this is kind of out of our comfort zone. We've never done. I looked at Kim. Kim's like, this is not my thing. And I said, we're doing it. So we pull right into the show, and just some little thing like that. But you do it together.
Love it.
You do it together.
How long are you in town for?
Till Sunday.
Till Sunday. Okay, so you're gonna be here for the first.
Yep. For what do you call that? Soft opening.
Soft opening, first class, first training. This Saturday at Legacy West Valley in Northridge.
Yes.
You want to say a few words about the school and, your heart and your feelings about everything.
It's been really emotional. It's been like it's like a dream coming into reality. It's like it's lived in my head for so many years, and I've journaled about it, and I even showed my mom and dad like past journals, from the one I showed them was from 2021, and I showed them an entry where it said by 2024 I want to have my school, and I have had vision boards of it and Pinterest boards of what it would look like. And so for me to get into the space and just look at it, with that key in my hand, and then look, and it was ugly maroon and ugly carpets, but in my head I could always see what I wanted it to be, and not just how I wanted it to look aesthetically, but I know how I want it to run. Like I want that people first, I want the community first, I want people to come there and feel like when they're there, like they can just like let go of the day, and they can do something for them and train and be a part of something bigger to like help them grow. Like that's always been the vision. And so for me to be in this space, the other day I was laying on the mat because it's all coming together. We're getting our wall mats delivered. So today we're going to rip all the molding off the wall and put up the wall mats. But I was laying there last week, and I got emotional because I was like, this is what I've seen in my mind for so many years. And there's always been doubts. There's always been doubts. Like, can I do this? Like, am I worthy of this? Like, have I saved enough money for this? Like, have I
done enough?
Like, and then you always wonder that until it becomes your reality, and I was laying there, and the place is so, I don't even know how to explain the feeling, but it's so much in reality, like it took away any of doubt I might have. Like my reality is now bigger than my doubts. And now I know, like, I have to do whatever I can for my team. I have to do whatever I can to equip my team so we can go out and equip our community and like grow another legacy in another place where people come and they, like me, I came to Legacy and I belonged. And now it's my turn to extend that. And so being in the space and creating the space, it's exhausting. My last day.
24/7 from your 9 to
5
5 to 24/7.
Congratulations. Congratulations. You said that.
You have arrived.
You have arrived. And, it's been a little over a month, and the space has completely transformed. And so to open on Saturday for, we're having an open house, we're having a meet and greet, just anybody's welcome to come. And I'm
at
so
2 p.m.
excited.
2 p.m. on Saturday.
Yeah. 2 p.m. on Saturday. And then classes begin October 21st on the Monday. So I'm so excited. I think this last month has been long days. We talk about those 100-hour weeks. It's been 100-hour weeks, but,
character building weeks.
Character building weeks and times, and I am so excited. Like I said, the reality just trumps over any doubt, because it's just like, what are we gonna do? Fail? It's not an option.
Not today. We don't have time for that.
We don't have time for that.
And I just think about, right, like the North Star is just, man, doing our best to serve our community, to do our best for them, bringing out the best in our students.
Yeah.
And if you do that, like, it takes care of itself, you know?
I just told my guys that, and Erika too, she's heard it 100 times. You take care of the customer, and the rest takes care of itself. Gotta take care of the people. You got. They always have to be your number one. So, and she's doing it. I mean, it's fantastic.
You've been doing it.
We've been doing
it.
it.
Continue doing it. Like, that's who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just like goes back to the very beginning of the podcast, and it's the saying I've said on every podcast I think I've ever been on. I write it in my posts all the time. Is just that never pursue money. You know, pursue excellence, and money will pursue you.
Yeah, very good.
And that's it. You know, and now the school is coming alive, and the team is coming alive, and pretty soon the community will be there, and then it's just about taking care of them. And I can't wait. It's been a dream since I was the crazy white belt that said I was going to start a school, and I did it.
I remember that white belt.
Yeah. Yep. So here we are. We've arrived, and then now it's a new chapter and a new extension of everything that you've taught me, you know, through the years.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Yeah. I'm so excited. And what an honor, right? What an honor. Like, we work to kind of see these kinds of things happen, right?
Yeah, absolutely an honor. And it makes you so proud that you're. So one of the things with Erika was, when I knew she'd get it, is when they start using your one-liners back on you. And I used to say, they would tell us, you got to do your homework. I know. And I'd say, to know and not to do is not to know. Man, they started using that on me, and it made me mad. I'm like, wow,
like,
they really were listening.
Are you eating when you're supposed to be eating? No, but I know. And I'd be like, to know and not to do is not to know.
She's hammering me with that one. It's good stuff. You all of a sudden one day you realize, wow, my kids were listening all along. You know, it's great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
To you,
Yeah.
too, you know, for...
Yeah.
So
good
thanks
stuff.
for having us.
That's our legacy, right? Our kids
Amen.
and our family.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
So
what an honor, you know.
Yeah.
What an honor
It's
to
an
speak
honor
with
for
you
me.
today, and with both you guys together.
Thanks for having us.
You.
It
Oh,
was
thank you very
great.
much. This was fun. I've never done anything like this, and this is cool. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
you've now inspired me to write a book.
Yes.
There we go.
Because I think people, you don't realize that your own story is valuable until you hear yourself speaking it. And it was like, today was really cool. So I really appreciate that. It's good stuff.
Thank you, guys.
Good stuff.
All
You
right,
bet.
thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Oh, I just love
Give you guys a hug.
That was cool.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.